Good morning. My last morning here, flying to Chiang Mai today, and going to talk a little bit about Do Not Disturb on my phone, because this is something that I realized has been a big change in the past 6 months, because I didn't used to do this. And right now my phone is basically on Do Not Disturb the entire day. I take it off maybe 3 or 4 times, just like swipe down, undo Do Not Disturb, look at the notifications, clear some of them, and then redo Do Not Disturb. And oh no, am I gonna get demonetized? Oh boy, that's okay. So this really started like a long time ago. Oh my god. As I started to get into coffee shops and work in the morning and value my focus, I found it a lot more useful to put my phone on do not disturb while working. At this point, I find that like a non-negotiable. Like, I don't know why I would ever have my phone not on do not disturb while I'm trying to like focus on a task. It literally just doesn't make any sense to me. So I started doing that. But the big perspective shift for me was flying to Southeast Asia, because the time zone over here is basically the inverse of the US. And so all of the messages that I would get, all of the emails that I would get would happen while I was sleeping, while I am sleeping, basically. And I don't get a lot during the day. And so as I focus more on my routine and focus during the rest of the day, not just my morning work sessions, like I was finding that I'm not getting a whole lot of messages and emails and whatever, except for maybe the stray like handful. And so I just started putting my phone on Do Not Disturb, like after. So for some more context, like in the mornings, I'll talk about previously. This is what I would do previously. Wake up, phone's on Do Not Disturb, go to a coffee shop, work until noon, and that is when like the first time I put my phone off Do Not Disturb, and then it used to be off for the rest of the day. But once I got to Southeast Asia, sometimes I would just open up my messages app just to check if there are any fires to put out, basically. And sometimes I would look at my emails, but actually I found that doing that actually affected my focus more than I thought it would. So I try to not do that. But yeah, so when I was in Bali, I was just like, after going to lunch, I would just keep my phone on do not disturb, and it's just become part of my life, I suppose, at this point. So it's just always on do not disturb, and I'm a big inbox zero, organized, clean type of person, and so I like when I have 0 unread messages and no notifications and no emails or no unread emails, that kind of thing. And so I found that like whenever I got a notification, I need to like clear it, And so when it's on Do Not Disturb, my phone is clear, but it's accumulating whatever notifications, and so I can choose the times at which I go through the notifications and clear them, So I find that the biggest change here is when there are a couple times I do like leave it off of do not disturb, just because in that moment I forget, and like a message will come in and I'll feel my phone vibrate and I'm like, whoa, what the heck? Like, why is it vibrating? Like, I didn't ask you to do that. And that moment has showed me that like I've gotten so used to what it's like without any push notifications to my phone. It just feels so much more healthy. So much more healthy. Because in that moment, it's like your entire attention goes to like from whatever you were doing to your phone. It's like, is that okay? Anyway, that's my story about Do Not Disturb. I don't know if this will change when I go back to the US or Europe, but I don't know. I've been liking it so far, and I feel very grateful to have had this perspective shift in Southeast Asia, because yeah, I feel like this is a big improvement for me. And I think the most common complaint, or what's the right word, pushback, whatever, is like, oh, what about messages? You know, what if someone messages you and your phone's on Do Not Disturb and like you don't get back to them? And fair argument, but like, how many times do you actually need to respond within whatever 3 minutes? For me, it's like never. I mean, unless there have been instances where I am trying to set up a call or something, and my phone's on Do Not Disturb, and they message me and they're like, oh, like, can we do it a little bit earlier or something? And I don't see it for a while. But like, you know, it happens so infrequently. And what I'll do is I'll just open up my messages app like every so often, which is a lot better than being bombarded with all of the notifications and all of the emails and all of the whatever. Like, I choose when to look for the messages. And I'm not saying I never look at my messages or never look at my notifications for like weeks. I'm talking about like a couple hours. Like, can you not respond to a message for a couple hours? Like, that's the type of time frame I'm talking about. It's like, okay, after this, I'm probably gonna look at my messages. And then the next time, if this were a normal day, the next time would be probably like 12:30 p.m. when I finish work. I'll like do whatever, and then maybe I'll go do some more work, whatever, maybe like 3 or something. And then maybe like once after my workout and before dinner at like 6. And so it's like you end up with 3 or 4 opportunities where you look at the notifications, where you choose to, not your phone or whoever's on the other side of your phone trying to get your attention. And I don't know, I like it better. So anyway, hope you thought that was interesting. See you tomorrow.